Michelle, just a few minutes ago, we were talking about the potential or not the potential, but Warner Brothers basically urging folks to actually embrace the Netflix deal. Now we're learning that Jared Kushner and Affinity Partners are apparently out of the Paramount Skydance deal side of this deal when it comes to the financing.
Yeah, so it's evolving very rapidly. Lots has been happening just in the past few minutes. But what we do know so far is that Affinity Capital is dropping out of their effort to help finance the Paramount deal. We don't know exactly why, other than that they're saying that the dynamics around the investment have changed. I'm sure, more will come out in the coming days and hours. But this is really interesting because, Kushner, obviously as the son-in-law of the president, had been seen as a key figure who might help, get a Paramount deal over the line.
Right.
Without him there, there could be a view that maybe they have one fewer ally in the White House.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, Michelle, where this leaves, of course, Paramount, whether or not there's any world in which they could get this across the line without Kushner and Affinity.
So the other thing to remember is the news that we just broke a couple of minutes ago as well is that the Warner Brothers board is expected to, within hours or possibly tomorrow, urge investors to reject the Paramount offer. It already agreed to a deal with Netflix. So at the end of the day, it's still going to come down to whether Paramount comes back with a higher offer, whether it is able to propose something that does meet Warner Brothers' concerns. But until then, they have this deal with Netflix, and they'll be shepherding that through the regulatory process.
I mean, there was other money involved in this, and I'm wondering if any of that money sort of steps up and maybe fills the void as to whatever Affinity is leaving behind.
So it does seem like a lot of the equity and debt that was committed to this was there were changes in who was contributing what. Paramount has said in its filings that Ellison and his trust, the trust that holds all of Larry Ellison's wealth, is the ultimate backstop of the $40 billion or so of equity that is being committed to this Paramount offer. And so even if, parties like Affinity or some of the sovereign wealth funds do pull out, the thought is that Ellison and his trust will be there to backstop the deal and step up for, any of the commitments that fall away. But that also speaks to the concern that we're hearing the Warner Brothers board has with the Paramount offer, which is that the financing might not be as tight as Paramount is making it out to be.